So, my community, I'm here with the astrology of July 14th to the 20th. Now, the biggest takeaway from this entire week will be the fact that we're going into Mercury retrograde. Um, you have to keep in mind that it's not going to be like a regular Mercury retrograde because it's a Mercury retrograde in the sign of Uranus. I mean, with the influence of the planet of Uranus. So the combination is not only the conflicts that arise, but this strong impulsivity and this strong, I want to say, reaction to I'm over it and I'm going to do everything possible to change this because I'm not doing this anymore. We also have that retrograde in Aries that will be present till I want to say, I think it's October or something. And that also creates this energy of I'm over it. So everything this entire week is kind of lining up to tell you I'm over it. And it's not just this entire week. I told you guys it's an influence that will be going till the end of the year. So don't be surprised that you reach the end of a lot of situations. You're going to be over a lot of situations. You're not going to continue a pattern that makes you feel less than anymore or makes you have this life that you freaking hate anymore. It's going to be like, I'm just over it. So be very mindful. Think before you act. Weigh the pros and cons so that you don't feel later on that you made a decision that was going to be for that affected you negatively, and then move on. Okay. Like always, the stamps are below in the description. Also, the only way to contact me or make an appointment with me is through my website. I have online services for tarot card readings and services like rituals in the shop section of my website. And then the book now section has all the things that are live and in person. I hope that you find some solace during this time and some direction so that you don't get lost in this huge uproar that is being influenced by these large planets that are kind of telling you either I'm hearing shit or get off the pot, right? It's like you do something or just stop sulking and live this misery that you're designing. And it's very strong. The energy is very strong. So get ready for that, all right? So let's go through this week. So we start Monday, the 14th, with the moon in Pisces. The moon in Pisces will make you stuck in your feelings and ruminating. That means that you're just going to start thinking and thinking and thinking and thinking and thinking about a situation. All right. Again, this is nothing new that's coming up. This is linked to your Chiron wound. If people are interested to know what your Chiron moon is, I invite you to check your astrological chart. Check out where your Chiron placement is. That means that what Mercury retrograde was doing when you were born. And then it tells you the wound that you are carrying from your ancestors, from your past lives, from cycles that you've been going through in this life. Every Mercury retrograde, this wound returns for us to address it, heal it, and move it on. The good news about it is that once you move it on, you have a tendency of like, Mercury retrogrades don't feel so terrible once you move on from your Chiron. They feel like a productive time. But when you don't address it, you don't see it, you don't heal it, it does cycle through over and over again. Okay? So Pisces is kind of bringing forth that wound. That means somebody that you don't like, a situation that is causing a hindrance in your life, a job you don't like, something about your physical self you don't like, something about your spiritual self you don't like. It's just something that just keeps cycling through, and now you're stuck in your feelings about it. And because of the planetary placements and how things are going, the feelings are more self-loathing, feeling like it's all my fault. It's all my fault. This is the reason my life is so terrible. It's all my fault. And it makes you kind of being a really big self-critic. So be very mindful about that, because fine, you can address the fact that you were stupid for making that mistake. Let's not focus on the fact that you were stupid for making that mistake. And let's say, okay, that really pissed me off. I did this again. Why is it that I fell into that pattern? How can I make it different? What Where was I in a mental state or emotional state or financial state that made me make that decision? And so that you can catch it the next time to not do the same. That's what I would tell you about Pisces, because it has a way of being your head is it just keeps talking to you all this garbage that is not productive. It makes you kind of feel bummy. Okay. Next thing is a trine, which I told you before is a triangulation, something that is returning. And what is returning is the theme that's been going on since, I want to say, last month. I'm sorry, my ears are weird today. And what it is Jupiter in Cancer. Jupiter is you wanting to spread your wings and expand into a different reality, a different group, a different mindset, a different energy that isn't the one that you're stuck in right now. And it's being influenced by the sign of Cancer, which I done told you that has to do with your root chakra. Root chakra is where we plant our seeds, our root system, things that have to do with our foundation. And so the reason why we're expanding and looking into our foundation is because we're trying to see what we have connected to, what we agree to, what people, places, things, and energy we are and we like work with, and whatever that is creating this internal turmoil that is making us feel sad for the life that we have. And so don't be surprised if there's a flame on your butt all of a sudden that makes you take action, because you're just going to be over it. And the entire week feels like over it. I feel like this is a preparation for the Mercury retrograde, but it feels like the analogy of the frog being cooked. Like they say that if you want to cook a frog, you can put him in a pot and you just slowly increase the heat. And if you just slowly increase the heat, his body acclimates until it cooks him inside and he doesn't even realize it because it's so hot. In contrast, what the universe is doing is that instead of helping you adjust to the negative things in your life, it's literally turning up the heat where you have no choice but to jump out because it's so uncomfortable and it's burning you, right? Keep it in mind that this is for your greatest good, though it feels like the worst thing that could happen to you. And I keep repeating that narrative just so that you can keep in mind that this isn't against you. This is for you. It's something that you want. You just aren't able to see it yet. All right. I hope this helps you. And we can go to the next day with that mindset that everything is working for your greatest good. Now we're on Tuesday the 15th. Tuesday the 15th, we still have the moon in Pisces, which kind of sucks because that means we're still going to be stuck in our feelings and our intuition is going to be heightened and telling us how much we hate the life we have at this moment, or we hate this person, or we hate this situation in our life that we need to expand and move away from. But now I want to say, to add more flame to the fire, we have a trine, another trine, and this one is with the sun in Cancer. So sun in Cancer has a way of creating a spotlight in our foundation. What does that mean? Really making you see the people you hang out with, the family you have, the job you work in, the community you hang out with, your friend group. It's like you see them more clearly. Like if somebody just took off the blinds from your eyes that says, oh no, but that is your cousin, or that is your friend, or this is la la la. All that is being pulled off and you can really see them. And this energy of Pisces right now is kind of making you think, am I this person? Because they say that we are a reflection of everybody and everything that we hang out with. So am I this person? What in me is the same as this person? Do I want to be this person? What do I have to do to make myself better? This is important for you to see, okay? Because sometimes we align to certain people, places, things, energies, mindsets, because we believe that that is what is expected of us, but that's truly not what we want. So, whatever comes to light during this time is for you to really question, is this me? And then determine if you want to stay or if it's time for you to start doing what you have to do to be able to move forward. And this can be taking classes, this can be working out, this can be being more proactive, getting past those traumas that we have, and just kind of moving forward. I noticed that we at times connect to certain people, places, things, and energies because there is a part of us that is being demonstrated to us. We're being shown something about ourselves. And once we overcome it, it's kind of like, I thank you for the time we spend with each other and for the lessons that I learned from you, but it's time for me to move forward. Um, I think sometimes it's easy for me to say that because I am a Sagittarius and we're kind of like a rolling stone. Um, and for others that are more anchored and grounded, kind of like the energy of Virgo or Taurus or Capricorn, they're more steady in creating those, or Cancer, have more steadiness in creating those bonds and not wanting to move away from them because of comfort. But it's just not going to be so comfortable anymore. So keep that in mind. It's nothing wrong with you. You're just being told it's time for you to birth that new version of yourself. Okay. Now we're in the 16th, which is Wednesday, and the moon enters Aries. This is significant because we went from being stuck in our feelings, very watery, very much stuck in our minds, very like mental, into moving into this energy of it's time for me to take charge of my life. The moon entering Aries activates your leader, activates your energy, masculinity, activates your energy of action. But then it does a conjunction, which is a together with the problem child at this moment, which is the Neptune retrograde in Aries that I told you is going to be around till October. So what does that mean? That means that you're fiery, right? You're angry, you're impulsive, your feelings are forceful at this time, connected with this feeling of this is not enough. Um, I don't want this. I don't want these people. I don't want this life. I don't want this connection. I just don't want it. I said no. And so it might make you very explosive. And this is why I'm telling you, because it's for you to be mindful of your explosive personality that can generate and come to light on Wednesday. Again, that's because in 2 days, and Friday, we start the retrograde. So you're already getting ready for the chaos that is coming. And you're in this energy of it's time for war internally because you're not satisfied with the life that you are having. Um, the biggest takeaway from this day would be mindful of the fact that it's an internal turbulence, that not everybody has to meet the consequences of the fact that you are angry for the choices that you have made in your life and the decisions that you have made and the actions that you have taken. And instead of directing that anger and that fire towards something externally, you should direct it into something internally by taking charge of your life and directing your energy in the way that you need for your greatest good and your divine purpose. That's one thing. Secondly, you're not the only one in this boat. Everybody around you is in the same. That means that not everybody has done the spiritual work, let's say, that you have to keep yourself balanced and secure. So some people are going to lose their shit and they're going to show you very quickly that they're out of control. And so this shows up as people strongly trying to forcefully make you do something that you don't want to do, or is against your will, or it's against the way that you want to move your life, because they want to have dominion over you because it makes them feel more safe and secure. It's a reflection of them, not you. And instead of internalizing it and getting angry and saying these people are this and this and that, it's time for you to take a pause and be like, what do I need to do to get out of a situation in a pattern like this? And so keep that in mind because that will help you kind of move forward. And also, these situations like this really show you the people that are around you, the situations that are around you that are not for your greatest good. The more uncomfortable you are, the more desire you will have to move out of a situation that's no longer for your greatest good. Okay? I hope this helps. Now we get to Thursday, and the moon will still be in Aries. So we're still going to be fiery. We're still going to want to take action. We're still going to have that energy of the activation of divine masculine energy within us, which provokes that leadership energy. But now we have a trine. The trine is something that is cycling back into your life. And the trine is this energy of Mercury and Uranus. Mercury and Uranus is all about quick, active, I need to change yesterday kind of energy. And it's influencing the sign of Leo, the lion. Very, very important, this energy, for you to understand. First of all, there's 2 fire signs, so there's a very masculine energy around the air, right? Secondly, Leo has a lot to do with your ego, right? And ego is bad if it's in excess, good if it's survival, right? Ego was created within us so that we can survive, thrive, and move forward in this life. And what is being activated with all this influence of Aries and now this influence of Leo is a sense of survival, okay? Our survival engines are kicking in. What do we need to do to survive? And in this case, what I'm needing to do to survive is to get out. Um, there's going to be a lot of communication. There's going to be a lot of words being said, things that come to connect with you, things that want to create change. It's all about change. Okay? Watch it. And I said this to you guys last week, because Mercury and Uranus is amazing for change and expansion and blah, blah, blah. But it also makes us impulsive, and it also makes us not think things through before we take the action. We multiply that with the energy of so much fire that makes us explosive. We can make mistakes that will not be for our greatest good. Like before, take a deep breath, and kind of think about how your actions will affect you positively and how your actions will impact you negatively. There are some things that come to our minds that our answer immediately is a no, right? And because I've already had that happen. Like, my immediate response was no, no, no. But I said, but because I know the energy that's around, let me take a breath and let me think about why no and the positive yeses that can come out of the situation. And still, at the end, the answer was no. But at least I knew that the answer was a no, because I see that it is the best option for myself, and not because it's a no because I'm being impulsive and I'm working off a wound. Wound is super important, because some of the no's that we give to the world, some of the limitations we give ourselves, are based on a wound that we're carrying. So this is like, to thine self be true, right? Why is there a no? Why is there a yes? Is this a yes that comes from the impulses that and bad habits that we have? Or is this a yes that comes from a place of healing, and of wholeness, and of thriving, which is all this energy? Okay? I hope this helps you. Now we get to Friday the 18th. Dun, dun, dun. Where we have Mercury and Uranus in retrograde, beginning in Leo, right? Uranus is not retrograde, Mercury is in retrograde, but the Mercury in retrograde is being influenced by the Uranus, which is impulsive change, in the sign of Leo. And that will be active till the 11th of August, okay? Then we have a sextile 6 points in Venus in Gemini, which is entering the sign of Taurus. All right, I done told you Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of last week, we had this kind of energy, except it wasn't a retrograde, right? With Mercury and Uranus and Leo and Venus and Gemini and blah, blah, blah. Okay. Whatever happened to you last week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, imagine that amplified by, I don't know, 20% or 20 times what it was last week. This is what we're entering into, and this energy is pushing you through August 11th. So Mercury retrograde creates a situation where a wound that is in our lives, in our energy, in our field, is returning. Uranus is the energy of impulsivity and change and desire to get this over with. I'm feeling a strong energy of this retrograde being like, I'm over it. I don't want to repeat this cycle. I don't want these people in my life, these places, these things, this energy. I don't want to repeat this freaking memory all the time. What is it that I need to do to get out yesterday? Okay, it's all about survival because of the energy of Leo. Leo is all like, no, 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 no. I'm not doing this anymore. I'm just not. Okay? Then we have the sextile, which is our big net that we're casting out into the world. And the net is focusing on Venus in Gemini, which makes us kind of desire what we desire without limitations. Which, I mean, in a way is good and in a way is bad. The good thing is your desire is aligned to who you really are. The bad thing is that if you haven't healed, who you really are is your wounds, is the trauma that you experience, is the cycles that you experience, and not the person that you really are. So it's going to bring forth a lot of people's traumas, a lot of people's negative, unhealthy patterns. It's going to bring up all that stuff. And then we have the energy of Taurus that literally makes us bullheaded and kind of in this energy of, I said what I said. I don't care. I don't care what you want to say. I don't care what you're offering me. I don't care. I said no. You know, one of those things. So I feel like it's going to be an amazing retrograde because there was a lot of times that retrogrades create a situation that is less than par, right? Like something that is not good for us because it brings back our wounds. But this is, I'm over this freaking wound. I don't want to live this cycle. I'm over this stupidity that I'm living with, and it's time for me to get out of this. Okay? So it's kind of putting, yet again, like I was telling you from the beginning of the week, a flame up your butt saying, I'm out of here. I'm out of here yesterday. So, like always, because I always like to give you both aspects of it, be mindful not to fall into unhealthy patterns because of the Venus in Gemini, which makes us desire things that might not be for our greatest good. Be mindful not to be too explosive because this retrograde energy with this impulsivity might make us do something that is not for our greatest good, right? So if it's going to send us to jail or it's going to destroy some kind of something, think about it before you move forward. And then Taurus is this energy that, yes, it's grounded, yes, it's secure, and it's going to chug along to create this change. Be mindful that sometimes it can, are you doing this because this is pointing to that direction of the pin that we talked about in the beginning of the year, the direction that you want for your future? Or is it you being bullheaded and not wanting to confront something of yourself? So you're trying to ignore it by deflecting. Okay. Everything that we do in this world, we always have to kind of really check in to see if it's really aligned to us or if it's just something that we're repeating that might not be for our greatest good. Okay. That's all the advice I'm going to give you. Just check into yourself, check in with your mind, and check into your all-time final goal. And if this is an alignment to it, and you'll see that things are going to start evolving in the way that's going to be for your greatest good. All right. Saturday, the 19th, the moon will be in Taurus. So here we are chugging along, breaking down every barrier, literally putting our hooves to the ground and really moving that energy that we really want to create and the change that we are desiring. Then we have the trine, the return of something. And what is returning is your will to fight. It's Mars in Virgo. Mars is the energy of war, of fighting, of fire. There's a lot of fire in the energy, actually. And then Virgo is the practical plannings to make this change. So this is when the bull says, okay, I'm hankering down. This is the direction I'm going to. I'm not letting anything stand in my way. I'm bulldozing everything that might stand in my way. Mars, activation of divine masculine energy, is kind of like, yeah, I'll burn whatever stands in my way. I'm moving forward. And Virgo is like, okay, for us to move forward and have the success that we need for the future, we're going to have to do this, and then we're going to tackle this, and then we're going to tackle this, and you're going to see how we get this all thing done. And so all of it is preparation, planning, and moving you in the direction that is for your greatest good so you can finally end a cycle excuse me, that feels restricting, that feels limiting, and that you're just frustrated over. Okay. Now we get to Sunday, the 20th. The moon is in Gemini. Moon being in Gemini makes you very communicative. This is you networking. This is you trying to go out there and making those new connections necessary to create the change. But then we also amplifying this energy of Neptune in Aries, which is the Neptune retrograde in Aries. And there's a sextile on this. So this is literally the net that you're creating is that of, I want to break free. Okay. I'm hearing that Queen song in my head. And so one of the things I'm going to ask you to do is listen to your intuition, Listen to your dreams, because both of them are going to be very strong in during this time. This is an awakening to the illusion, the shoulda, woulda, couldas, right? Where I should do this, I could have done that, and then you're kind of beating yourself up of all the limitations that you've created. Also, the illusions of I can't do that because the obligations that you have around you, the people that you have around you, etc., etc. So all of this is the actions that are being provoked because the illusions of your reality are being removed. Neptune and Aries are making you think of, do I have a pattern of behavior that creates this problem, right? Is there something that I have to do to change this pattern of behavior? How can I change this pattern of behavior so I can move over from where I'm at right now? Um, what did you do in the past when these things came up? Did you like how it ended up? If not, what can you do different? It's all you really, if you are wise during this time of Mercury retrograde, right? That, and with this energy of the moon and sextile and stuff, it's for you to really go within. Not, I don't care if Joe Schmo is always the one coming with their BS to create problems in your life. That Joe Schmo is a distraction. Why does Joe Schmo think he can come and interrupt my life? What power have I given him? How can I change that power? What can I do different? And so I think it's like this energy of calling back your power from people, places, things, and energies by taking accountability and responsibility of stuff and saying, you know what? This is the problem right here. This person is the problem. The person is the problem because I gave them the will to be able to stand in my way. What is it that I need to do to get this person out of the way so that I call back my power? And the more you do things like that, and this, I'm just stating a person, it can be other things, but the more you do things like that, the more you're going to be able to change your reality in general. So, um, just be very open and very introspective during this time, because every problem that is coming up is pulling a mirror in front of you. It's either something that you have to change in yourself or a realization of how far you've already gotten, because you're not that anymore. So it's time for you to stop feeding that and move in another direction. Okay? I hope this helps you.